As we get ready to start learning some of the foot techniques for playing bass drum, it's important for you to understand the parts of the foot. As a young drummer myself, I played heel up with what I thought was my toes, and that's really the only way I played. And then one of my teachers said, "Oh, you should play with your heel down." He was an older gentleman who taught from the old school, and I started playing some heel down, and I learned both of those techniques. It wasn't until I got further along that I started to realize there's more to the foot than just the heel up and the heel down and your toes, and I started exploring my foot in its entirety. And the more I researched, and with the advent of YouTube and VHS videos that I was watching, I started to develop other ways of using my feet, my entire foot, to play the bass drum. So as we get into techniques soon, I want to be able to reference these parts of the foot, and so that you understand what I'm talking about, I'm going to explain them quickly here in this video. These are the parts of the foot that you need to understand for foot technique, pedal technique, bass drum playing. The toes. A lot of guys will talk about playing with their toes, and what they mean is they're not actually doing this with their toes. They're lifting their heel up at a high angle like this to touch the pedal with only their toes, and then push down on the pedal with their toes. Think of it as the contact point. The contact point of the pedal board is toes, and that can move on the pedal board. That's a whole nother thing, moving your contact point around the pedal board. Most people will put it towards the top though. So that's toes. The ball of your foot, if you don't know, the ball is like where your calluses would be, where your fingers meet your hand. Same with your foot, where your toes meet your foot. That's the ball of your foot. Most people play with the ball of their foot when they have heel up. Their heel's up about here, not as high of an angle as the toes, in this area, and they're contacting the pedal board with the balls of their feet kind of up here, 2/3 of the way up the pedal board. Again, you can move that contact point around to get different feels on the pedal, but that's what it is to play with the balls of your feet. Now next I put foot, because I find that sometimes if I go a little lower with my heel, not all the way down, just an inch or two off the footboard, so it's still heel up, my contact point is just a little behind the balls of my feet. And it's still like the balls, but it's on the back side of it. So I would call it a foot thing. You're not in the arch of your foot, you're somewhere in between the arch and the balls of your feet. And that's another sweet spot that I move around on the pedal board to play certain techniques. Finally, there's the heel of your foot. You can use the heel to play. Sometimes we just put the heel down to work the ankle from the heel, like that. But also there's a technique where guys are actually using their heel to strike the pedal. Think of it as that. You're pushing on the pedal with your heel to create a sound on the bass drum. That would be heel playing. So there they are, the 4 parts of the foot that you can use in foot technique. Toes, balls of your feet, foot, and heels.